Welcome to the show, everybody. On this beautiful, sunny, I want to call it Straight Talk Thursday. That's usually what I call the show on Thursday, Straight Talk Thursday. But today I'm calling it Bullshite Thursday. That's right, Bullshite Thursday. Because we're going to be talking about a lot of bullshit. We are. I'm telling you that right now. I've seen a lot of bullshit this week. So it's going to be an interesting show today. I would advise everybody to stay tuned in because you're going to hear some stuff today. Believe me, I'm on the warpath a little bit today. And I'm going to tell it like it is. I'm going to tell you what I think. Anyway, I always do, but today's going to be a good one. 33 degrees when I get up at 5 in the morning. Woo! It's up to 42 or 43 now. Barometer up to 29, 48, which means high pressure dominating, which makes a clear day. It makes exactly what you're seeing right now, and I love it. This is nice November weather. I could take this all year. I don't need the snow. I don't need the below freezing temperatures. No, I don't need any of that stuff. So there you go. What a beautiful day, and I'm glad that we could enjoy it. And it looks like it's going to carry on through the weekend and actually into December. We're hanging tough in the mid 40s. I love it. Now, if we can only have a snowless Christmas, I know everybody wants a white Christmas. They talk about white Christmas. I don't care about a white Christmas. I want it to be dry so you can go out and enjoy yourself without having to bundle up and wear big galoshes. You can go and visit people without having to be dressed up like an Eskimo. We ain't allowed to say Eskimo anymore? I don't even know about that. Maybe, maybe not. Hey, I'm going to get some letters, maybe, right? But I thank Mother Nature. So we're going to get some rain within the next couple weeks, moving into December, but a few days, nothing major in the way of frozen precipitation, which is really, really great. Now, let's get to my sponsors before we get into the show. Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop, Pete's Pizza on Victoria Avenue, and Hamel Machine Company. And, even though we're getting this nice weather, it's just beautiful out there. We still got to remember that we do get winter in Canada, and now is the time for you to be proactive, and get your car checked out at Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop. You don't want to wait till the last minute when everybody's rushing in to get their winter tires on, to get their car checked out, to get their oil changed. You want to do it now before the winter rush jumps in there. So, hey, why not call them today? Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop. Put your actual car on an actual diagnostic system. Oh, yeah, they check out everything. And they're going to fix any problems. They're going to make sure your defroster, your heater, they're going to make sure everything's working right. Your brakes are working, your tires are good, everything's safe, so you don't have to break down in the winter. And that's what you want. Breaking down in the winter is a bummer. It's cold, it's miserable, it's not something you want to do unless you have to, and the only reason you have to is because you weren't proactive getting your car looked at. WildBillsAuto.ca, Oakwood Drive, next to the Kia dealership. Now, while you're at WildBillsAuto.ca, checking out all their services and making an appointment, if you're smart, go to my YouTube page. Go to my YouTube page. I don't have a website. I have a YouTube page, though. Paul Lemire, 4793. I got the number finally, 4793. You can look it up like that and see all my videos, or you can go to your city, your voice will do it. Absolutely, will do it. Whatever you want, they're all there. And if you missed the video, you can check it out. They're all on the net. You can go back and use them as reference tools, whatever you want to do. Also, don't forget to subscribe. That's right. It helps the algorithm. It gets the show out to more people. The more people it gets out to, the better it is, because we want everybody at this party. We have a budget coming up next week. We have an election coming up next year. Let's get everybody informed and aware and involved. That's what it's all about. So go subscribe. It costs you nothing to subscribe. Thumbs up, thumbs down, comments. We love them all. We love them all. And I always talk about them here. Now, if you're inclined to listen to the show on 4680Q, that's a good thing. So what do you have to do? Well, you just give me a text message at 994-7560. It'll pop up on this little device right here, and I'll be able to answer your question on air. If you have a statement or a question, or just something you want to say that you want me to get on air about something, hey, that's it. 289-994-7560, and it'll happen right here, and I'll talk about it right on air this morning. Okay, so last night I went to the planning meeting for the Meteor crater across the street here, known as 4500 Park Street, and was a little bit disappointed that there were only four of us there from the neighborhood here. Well, I'm not from the neighborhood, but I'm here every day looking at it. So, um, yeah, it was disappointing. I thought, there's a lot of businesses here, and this is going to directly affect them to build on this property. It's going to affect the neighbors over here, probably three houses that are across the street from it, somewhere around there. And of course, one of the women that live in one of those houses was there, so I know her from the show here, and she was there. So we sat together with Jody Burnett, and there was another gentleman, a really nice guy up named Gino, who lives up between Park Street and Bridge Street on Chrysler Avenue, was there, and that was about it. Nobody else showed up. There's no counselors there. The penguin, the squirrel, none of the staff were there. Uh, so it was just us. But I'm going to tell you one thing. It's going to start next March. They said they're going to start building it next March. The developers and the representatives were all fantastic. They're all great people. A gentleman named Marco, I didn't get his last name. I got to get his contact information, because as this build proceeds over the next 3 years, I'd love to get him in the studio just telling us what they're doing and how they're going to do it. So I got to get his name. I'll talk to one of the city guys was there, Matthew Bilodeau, and he was the one talking to this development, which is pretty cool. Good guy, and he addressed all the issues that any of us had, and there was a few trying to understand this build exactly as it's going to go down. But according to the guy who's building it, it's going to start next March. Now, that's if City Council approves it at their December 9th meeting. So I'm thinking this is going to be an interesting conversation, because there's a couple of variances they're looking for that don't exactly match up with city bylaws and stuff. And one of them is setbacks. Another one is parking. Another one is, what the heck was the other one? I don't know what they're going to do behind here with the alleyway and all and that kind of thing. So it was an interesting conversation we had, and he was really good. Matthew Bilodeau from the city, great guy. Great guy. Had a great conversation with them after, all the city employees, and I must say, these city employees are sharp people. We got sharp people working for the city. I know I criticize a lot, but these guys that I talked to, and girls, women, were really sharp. Matthew Bilodeau is one of them, a planner. You see her at all the meetings. I'm sorry, I can't remember your name. She was so nice. Another gentleman who works out of the Wayne Thompson building was there. I can't remember his name neither. Sorry, you guys. I'm old. But great people, answered all your questions. Really polite, really nice. Just good people, good solid people. With Matthew, the guy we talked to a lot as well. And there was Marco, who was the builder, I believe. And then there was a woman named Raquel Larock. Rochelle Larock, I think her name was. Yeah, and she was really nice too. She was one kind of explained the build, and she's part of the Bilieri group, who is the people doing the build, I guess, the Bilieri group. So pretty nice. Maybe Marco was from that group as well. I'm not sure. I'll have to figure that one out. He could have been the contractor. Some Bilieri was the developer. But either way, yeah, they were great people, and talked to us and answered all our questions. Very nice, very polite, and really, really accommodating as far as giving us the lowdown on it. So it was pretty neat. And apparently, it's a joint effort with the developer. The city's going to own the land and a portion of the building as well. So they're investing in it. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are now A real estate developing company. Yeah, we own it. Us, taxpayers. We are the city. We're part of a real estate company now. How about that? From broadband network to real estate moguls, hey, we're moving right along. And just to give you an up to date report, March 9th seems like when they're going to do this. But you know what? There's guys there now. They've got a fence around the whole meteor crater. It's all fenced off now. Pat Porter told me that there was a brawl out there. Two guys who worked there were fighting, and they're rolling around on the grass. They're having a big fight. I wish I was there. It would have been like the WWE down here. But the fence is all up. And then something really weird happened on the way to the forum. So last night they said they're not going to start anything in there until March, simply because they have to get council's approval on December 9th to build it. That makes sense, right? By the time you get council's approval, then you go and you get all the okays and everything all in situation, the logistics of it, you start digging and building. Well, all of a sudden this morning, there's a fence around the whole perimeter of the meteor crater, and there's an announcement that they're going to have a groundbreaking ceremony there on November 24th. Well, if it's not going to be approved till December 9th, how can there be a groundbreaking ceremony for something that could get turned down and have to go to the OLT, and it could be 2 years? So, you know what that means, right? Bullshite. It's fait accompli. It's an already done deal. It's been approved. It's just a matter of going to council and getting everybody to put up their hands. That's it. So we're looking at a 10-story building here with 0.3 parking spaces per unit, which means there's going to be 120 parking spaces for 360 units or something like that, somewhere around that. And there's going to be some parking behind the building over here. That would be on the south side of the building. The north side, of course, is going to be the entrance facing Park Street that you go into it. And across the street from there, there's the place there where the city workers sleep in the summer. well, that's going to be developed into parking too. And then apparently, where Cataract Ice is down Park Street, they're building another parking lot down there. And it's supposed to be the University of Niagara Falls campus going in there, I heard. So anybody who has a car for this building they're building here, it's going to take 3 years. So we'll see it completed in March 2029, somewhere in around there. Now, God willing, I'm still around. I live that long. I'll be watching the build for 3 years. But they're going to put more parking down there, and any overflow parking will have to walk down Park Street to get to their car down there. They don't feel it's a problem. According to the province, they don't have to have any parking spaces because of the proximity this is to everything downtown. And, when you talk about 15-minute cities, well, that's basically it. You're within 15 minutes of walking distance of everything you need. So, yeah, so there's going to be minimal parking there. They're probably not going to be able to park on the streets. I'm sure there'll be no parking all over the place because it's going to be pretty crazy. Who knows what they're going to do with parking at all? Because obviously, if they have parking, these guys are going to be taking the spaces. Even though it's 90-minute parking, they'll still have to park somewhere. So if you're going to Grand Central or one of those places, you may not find any parking. So that's why I can't understand why the business people weren't down there unless they're planning to show up at City Council on December 9th. But at that point in time, the way they're doing it over here, it looks like it's going to be too late anyway. So anyway, that's about it for that. That's what they're going to do over there. And I thank everybody from City. I wish I could remember the names. I feel so bad because they were so nice. So great, just great people. But Matthew Bilodeau, I do remember his name. And yeah, he's the Senior Manager, Transportation Services. Polite, accommodating, knowledgeable, good people. Congratulations to whoever hired them. They're a credit to the city, these guys. They're really, really good. That's about it. There's really nothing else to say. I mean, 3 or 4 houses are going to be affected by shadowing and that kind of thing, but they've done the studies and apparently that's going to be fine. Um, I have a concern with traffic on Park Street. It's already a very busy street with buses running down it and everything else. We'll see what they do with that. Maybe they'll ban buses from running on the street if it becomes a big problem. They'll have to use Bridge Street for everything. And we'll see what goes, but it's going to be a big 10-story, big, beautiful building, wall to wall. It's going from the sidewalk on Chrysler Avenue right over to the sidewalk on Park Street, and on St. Clair Avenue, from the sidewalk on Park Street right back to the alley behind the buildings on Queen Street. It's going to be a behemoth. It's going to be a big building, and it's going to be built. It's going to be built. And I asked these guys, I say, a lot of people in Niagara Falls are gun shy because we get people saying they're going to build and then they don't. We've seen it with the boathouse development in Chippewa and on Ferry Street, and those ones that took about 3 years to build on Bridge Street, those duplexes or whatever they are. We've seen a lot of delays. We've seen planners okay a lot of building, but for one reason or another, they never get developed. They never get built. So that's been a big problem. And he said, no. He goes, when we get the okay, we're starting this and we're building it and we're not stopping. It's going up. And he showed me a picture, a live shot from a camera of the building they built in Brantford, which is pretty close to the one they're building here. And it was really nice. It was really, really nice. And I anticipate this one is going to be basically what it looks like in the artist conceptions of it, and it should be nice too. So, well, there goes my Meteor crater. Lost to the excavator. Goodbye, Meteor crater. My dream of setting up a hot dog stand and selling hot dogs and beer to tourists is gone. I told the developer that. So you're ruining my business I was going to set up. And I also told him that if he could name it the Meteor Crater Apartment Complex, I'd like that. I don't think he was too impressed with that, but he was a good guy, Marco. And like I said, I'd like to get him on the show if possible, just to talk about the build, how it's coming along, and what's going on with it. It'll be interesting. And the next big one will be, of course, the apartment building or the student housing building where the King Eddie land used to be. That's going to be it, and the parking lot across from there, because they're going to take up the city parking. It's going to be paved, and the building of the new campus. So we've got gentrification of downtown happening, which is all good. And if they get 500 or 600 people living in this building, it's all attainable housing and subsidized housing. So should fill up pretty fast. I think it'll all be students, but hey, that's just me. They said no. But yeah, so pretty good. It's all happening downtown. Change the face of downtown forever. Gentrification, and it might bode well for downtown. I'm looking forward to a grocery store for the people down here. I think they'll have enough people around to support that now. And anybody who's interested in opening a grocery store is a great time to take a look into that. Okay, that's that. Now we're going to get to the city council meeting notes from the last Tuesday's meeting, and I'm going to tell you the bullshite was flying at that meeting, and some of the best BSers I've seen don't even hold the candle to Jim Diodati. Mayor Jim is the biggest and best BSer of all of them, and Victor Peterangelo, his right hand man. Well, they really got my ire up. I mean, first off, they must be listening to the show or somebody's been talking to them, because they felt they had to justify wasting $17 million, taxpayer dollars, by the way, on the NS&T trail. Either a lot of people are calling them out or they listen to the show, because I've been calling them out for a couple of years now. And they let the BS fly. I'll tell you, there's bullshit flying all over the place. Now, I always contend $17 million was a waste of taxpayers' money. We don't need any more trails. We have the Bruce Trail that goes right to Tobermory. We have the 32 miles of Niagara Parkway, the most scenic walkway in the world, trails. We have the Millennium Trail. We have the Gale Center, we have the McBain Center, we have the cemeteries, we have the sidewalks, 600 kilometers of sidewalks in the city. How much more walking do people want to do? This thing is a waste of 17 million. I don't care what anybody says. And I don't know, maybe it's 12 million. I don't even know what it is now. Somebody said 12. I thought 17, but whatever it is, it's way too much. And this to me, getting up there and Mayor Jim telling everybody that people emailed him saying this was the greatest thing they ever did for Niagara Falls. Jimmy. Liar, liar, pants on fire. You're building a $2-3 billion hospital, and the NS&T Trail is what people are giving you accolades for? Give me a break and show me the emails. Quit gaslighting everybody and making excuses. And then Victor Peterangelo got up. They weren't trying to make the case for this trail about people emailing it. The people of Niagara Falls really wanted this. Show me the people that wanted this. If you said, listen, we're going to put $17 million in the roads or build this trail that nobody needs, what do you think they would have chose? Yeah. Come on, please. Just why get my ire up? Why stoke my fire here? So Peterangelo gets up, Councillor Peterangelo, and he says, well, Mayor Jim, only 10% of the money that was spent on that trail was taxpayer dollars. Okay, 1.7 million. That's 3% almost off your tax bill if they didn't spend it. And the other 15.3 million came out of development charges. Okay, Councillor Vic. That's really neat to know. Thank you so much. But you know what, Councillor Vic? You know what? We can spend that $15 million of development charges on a lot of different things. And I haven't talked to one people. Now I'm getting goofy here. I haven't talked to anybody who wants this trail who said they wanted it. They don't love the trail. It's baloney they're talking about. But the gaslighting from Councillor Peterangelo was really a good one. You can use that money from the development charges for a lot of different things. And you can use it to fix up the roads, fix up the infrastructure. You can do a lot of different things with that money. And if we don't have it in the development charges, we got to come up with it from somewhere else. So wasting development charges on that is crazy. Either way, it costs the taxpayers. Nothing is free. I don't care if you use development charges from this pot, then somebody else has got to put more development charges in there because you can only use those for certain things, like parks, like walking trails. I had them all listed here: libraries, fire and police services, and parks. So yeah, it did cost taxpayers money. These monies could have been used for other infrastructure like fixing roads, sewers, and that kind of thing. So that's gaslighting. BS, that's gaslighting right there. Jumping in on Jimmy's gaslighting. Oh, I want to see. Have you asked people about the NS3? I can go down Queen Street and ask people about the NS&T Trail. I guarantee you 99.9% wouldn't even know a thing about it. They don't know what it is, where it is. They have no clue what it is. So you're telling me people were emailing you, telling you it's the best thing you ever did for the city? I don't buy that for a second. Get out of here. Oh, man. That's where I want my tax dollars to go, they said. I mean, you think they would have emailed them about bad roads, drug situation, the homeless, crime, the fireworks, dirty Queen Street, 2 million people that crushed the city during the eclipse. Just joking, but there's another big fibberoonie that we heard. Nothing about that, but they specifically emailed him about how great of a thing the NS&T thing. I mean, please show us those emails. And here, Here's the big one that really got me mad. Said they got more positive feedback than anything they've ever done. Who? 10 of your friends? Who said that? I never heard one person ever say that. But here's what really got me. And that is dedicating a part of it to Rob Nicholson. And you say, why would you be mad over dedicating part of a $17 million trail to Rob Nicholson? Well, it's not that they dedicated it to him, it's why they dedicated it to him. They dedicated it to Rob Nicholson to validate building it, spending taxpayer dollars on it, lots of taxpayer dollars. That's all that was, a big show. Now, Rob Nicholson retired in 2019 from politics. Rob Nicholson was the closest person we ever had to being a prime minister in Canada. He held every position in the cabinet except prime minister. This guy was truly Mr. Niagara Falls. And the best they can do is name a part of a trail after him. After 7 years, not a building, not maybe Valley Way, the Rob Nicholson Way or something that really honored the guy for spending so much time in politics, getting elected. People loved him. I loved him. He's a great guy. And this is what they do? Are you kidding me? This was all self-indulgence, baloney, trying to validate this trail. Then they set a council meeting trying to validate it by telling us that people were emailing them in saying it's the best thing they've ever done for Niagara Falls. Oh, a brand new hospital? Forget about it. University of Niagara Falls? Forget about it. It was this trail. Millennium Trail? Forget about it. Oh, it was the NSNT Trail? A dream of Councillor Peter Angelo and Strange. Now, City Council. This is the greatest thing ever. Bullshite. I'm calling bullshite. Let me see the emails. Let me see all these accolades that you're getting for this. All I see is a waste of taxpayers' dollars. We didn't need it. We have lots of trails. We could have used it for better stuff. This is the spendthrift. Then they try to validate it using a former politician. If I was Rob Nicholson, I would have told him to shove it. Hey, that's me. Congratulations, Rob. I know Rob well. I know his wife well. I went to school with her, public school. They're great people. I love them to death. I always supported Rob. And to me, this is self-indulgence on Jim Diodati's part, naming this little piece of some trail out in the wilderness. I mean, he's a guy that deserves a building, that deserves something better. Forget about it. I don't want to talk about it anymore. Embarrassing. It's embarrassing to me, embarrassing to the city. That's it. I'm done. Oh yeah, one more thing. Nobody even mentioned the cost of the ongoing cost of keeping these trails going. You know it's going to suck our tax dollars dry for the next millennium. Ask the guys who neighbor on Millennium Trail if it made their neighborhood safer. If it stitched their neighborhood together. That's what Mayor Jim claimed. Makes everything better, stitches neighborhoods together, makes it safer. Baloney. Nobody mentioned the ongoing cost. Nobody mentioned that the sign dedicated to Rob Nicholson will probably be graffitied up in about a week. Was a bad decision. Now they're trying to validate it. God bless Rob Nicholson and his family. I love them to death. They're the salt of the earth, beautiful people, and I'm done with it. Okay, I'm finished. I got to go to my second sponsor, Pete's Pizza on Victoria Avenue. I'll tell you, there's no BS about Pete's Pizza. They make a fantastic pizza because they use the Mancini family recipes for their sauce and crust. These guys know how to build a pizza. They put the beautiful blend of brick and mozzarella cheese on the pizza in the right ratio with the sauce, and they cook it to perfection. Yeah, they know what they're doing. That's why there's no BS when you talk about their pizza. It's the real deal, and it's consistently good. And they don't just make pizza good. I mean, these guys are good at a lot of things. Chicken wings, spectacular. Chicken parm sandwiches, spectacular. Steak and cheese sandwich, great. Poutine, steak and cheese poutine, a full menu, open till 2 in the morning on Fridays and Saturdays for your convenience, till midnight during the week. And you people out there in Northwest Niagara Falls, Ontario, Canada, they just opened a new location there, so you can go there and have a great pizza out that way. The Roadstone Road and Kayla Road, you can't beat it. Get a pizza today. You know you want one, so just order a pizza. 905-374-2222, or go to their website, petespizzavictoria.ca. You're going to get a great pizza, and you're going to get a great pizza every time. You cannot ask for more than that. I thank everybody for supporting our sponsors. They support the show. They support the city. They're good corporate citizens, and we want to support small business in the city. Okay, so let's get to the rest of the city council meeting. We got through the bullshite part that got me clicking hitting the clicker as I my temperature went up and my blood pressure went up. Item 8.1 was interesting. The forcing of taxpayers to shovel city property. We talked about this before when it first came up. To me, it's like your property, your sidewalk. It's not mine. I didn't put the sidewalk in. I can't go bust it up and put grass in there so I don't have a sidewalk to shovel. No, it's your property. You take care of it. But of course, they passed the bylaw that you have to shovel your own sidewalks in the winter. It's coming into force next year, about a year from now, for the winter of 2026, 2027. And it's a fait accompli. They're going to do it. And they're going to have a program that helps people who are disabled, just old, or are, I guess disabled and old would be it. People who can't do it, they're going to have a program to do that. They figure there's 400 of them. They set $60,000 aside to be able to take care of it. People who can't take care of their own property and meet certain parameters, like they don't have a lot of money, can't afford to hire people to do it. So, that isn't going to happen. Bylaw officers are going to be all over the place. Many options were discussed. Councillor Strange had a good idea. Get the high school students to come and do it and make it part of their, what do they have, their community service hours that they have to put together to pass their courses. They need so many hours. They could use that to do it, use the high school students. Of course, the Penguin made a point that, I don't know, you can't depend on these high school students. What if they're supposed to come and shovel it and they don't, and the city bylaw guy comes by? And that's true. You can't depend on these kids anymore, so that could be a problem. So it was kind of that kind of a conversation, which was, really good. But the one that made sense to me is if people who don't want to shovel their own windrows and driveway could actually enlist the city employees to do it for them and pay them, $20 or $30 or whatever the price is. I think a lot of people would opt into that. I certainly would. I don't like going after, I've shoveled the whole driveway, having to dress up again and go in and shoving the windrow that's been dumped in my driveway. And I have a worse situation because I'm at the corner of a bend and it picks up all the snow from the bend and drops it in my driveway. Then it drops all the snow in the sidewalk I just finished shoveling. So I go out there, I do a great job, get it all cleared out. Then I come back out and it's all filled in. And it's not snow that fell, the nice light fluffy snow you can shovel pretty easy. It's the stuff that's been sitting on the road, been melting, and it's like slush. And it's heart attack to shovel that. It's very, very tough. Very, very tough to shovel. So it wasn't easy when I first started because it was powdered snow. When the city plows get through with it, it's slush. and heavy. And I did my job. They filled it in. So why do I have to shovel it? So anyway, that's the situation. We're going to have to shovel. And if they have a program that I could pay $30 for every event or pay one price for the whole year, $250 or whatever, they figure there's 10 events a year. And any excess, if they go under shoveling it 10 times, they know who went out. The crew would just follow the truck. Would come down the street and designated addresses that paid would get their windrow shoveled in, their sidewalk shoveled. I think it makes perfect sense. And we would pay for it. I'd pay for it. And you pay maybe up front $300 or something, and you get 10 shovels. And if they don't shovel them all, you can either get the money back or have it put it to your taxes or have it applied to the year after that. And if you sell your house, you'd have to apply for it back or something like that. Like I say, the logistics of this is going to be tough. It's going to be a tough one, but I would buy into that. I would buy into that. I'll tell you that right now. I was really surprised, moving on, that no counselor made a comment on item 9.1, the 2024 budget to actual variance. I went through the whole thing and I picked some real nuggets out of there. One of them was finding the 4.3 million that, or 43 million that we received, and I think that's what the number is, around that 43 million for the sale of Niagara Regional Broadband to Cogeco. I found that number in there, and I found a bunch of other nuggets in there. So I'm surprised city councilors didn't go through that and pick out some stuff. I know the 2024 budget to actual variance is already done. It's passed. Whatever's been done is done. But still, it's good to look at the numbers and try to see if there's anything there. There's a couple things that I picked out. The big one was the money we got for the Niagara Regional Broadband. Nobody said nothing. They just approved it, and the Penguin got up and he said basically that he wants to congratulate city staff. We've caught up. We had to catch up like 2 or 3 years of year ends that were never done, and now we're caught up. And we'll be doing 2025 as we progress through 2026, of course, once our fiscal year ends December 31st. So I'm surprised. I'm surprised that nobody said anything about that. Looked through it and saw if they saw anything weird about 2024. What I got from 2023 and 2024 budget to actual variance was the mindset of our city council, how they deal with money, how they deal with overages, how our staff deals with money, and that kind of thing. Where the expenses were, we had, I think, $12 million. Or was it $10 million? It's $12 million this year left over and above what was approved from the capital budget in 2024. So the mindset about how they deal with our money is in those pages. If you want to go through the numbers, you'll see them moving the money around, how much of the OLG fund they spend on stuff, and that kind of thing. But nobody said anything. I was surprised. The development on Portage Road was approved. I'm not sure how they're going to mitigate the increase in traffic because it's already a nightmare there. I mean, you've got 4 big plazas, 7 apartment buildings, 4 sets of stoplights, all in a quarter mile of each other, and long delays at 5 corners at certain times of the day. You can't get through there. It's busy every minute of every day now, it seems. It's just going to add to the woe for locals trying to travel through there. And another thing that I couldn't get from the actual planning when I looked at it was if there was going to be an egress onto St. Peter Avenue. Apparently not. It looks like they just bought part of the property that extends into the existing apartment buildings there. And they're going to use it to do their expansion, to go up and do their expansion. So they're just going to buy a piece of that property, it appears. But there will be no egress onto St. Peter Avenue, which means that the 12-story building they're building, plus all the other ones, the extra 202 units, I think they said, 49, no, maybe 156 or something like that. They're all going to be emptying into Portage Road, which is already a nightmare. So that I thought there was an egress on the St. Peter, which would alleviate some of the problems with that, but no, there's not going to be. Of course, the usual time wasters got up to get up and repeat everything 4 times. Councillor Van Nieuwensteeg and Patel are the main perps when it comes to grandstanding, and that's $1,600 an hour. We don't really need that, but there they are, week after week, not saying anything that is earth shattering, just repeating stuff and asking questions that are answered in the agenda. But the meeting was very short. They couldn't wait to get out of there. Jimmy was bragging at 5:30, we're out of here. But I said it was going to be a short meeting because really, the planning matter was a slam dunk, and they never asked about the budget variance. The rest were there, and next week we'll see how efficient they are when it comes to discussing the capital budget, and that comes on Tuesday. We'll see how efficient they are that night. Hopefully, they're not out of there by 5:30 because there's a lot of expenditures and a lot of questions that should be asked if the counselors are doing their job. If they're not reading it and they're just going to put their hands up, they might as well stay home. Who cares? If you can't find it, some kind of efficiencies in 330 pages, then there's something wrong with you. You haven't looked, or you just don't care. Or you think staff's doing a great job and $78 million is fine to spend of our money. You think they'd have something to say about it. And that's it for City Council. We're going to wait till next Tuesday now. We'll be talking about the capital budget Monday with Dave Wheeler in our City Council agenda show, talking more about the capital budget. And of course, tomorrow I'm going to do the last 100 pages of the capital budget. I've been through 230 of them. Tomorrow I'll give you the last 100 before the meeting to decide on the capital budget. So that'll be in tomorrow's show. We're going to take up most of the show with capital budget and numbers. So be ready for that. Very interesting. If you want to tune in, you'll get insight to what's going on and where we can save money. Okay, so let's move on. And, I'm going to get my third sponsor in before I move on because we got to talk about this Niagara Falls logo. I don't know if everybody's seen it, but this has to be talked about. Hamel Machine Company. Now, it's funny. I had a little meeting out here, a powwow, in front of the studio this morning when I came in. Bob Benner came in from Hamel Machine Company. Then I had Jeffrey here, my buddy Jeffrey. We were talking about the Meteor crater and how it's going to be developed. And Bob Benner from Hamel Machine Company, who's got a shop right over here on Bridge Street, was giving kudos to the city. They cleaned up behind his building there. The encampment is gone. All the junk is gone. They haven't shown up again. They haven't come back. And he said, it's great. It's clean. And the GO train goes right by there, bringing people from Toronto down to Niagara Falls. And they come around that little bend there, and boom, there's a big encampment there, all junk all over the place and stuff. He goes, it's so nice now. It's nice and clean. Thank you, City Council. And I thank Bob Benner for bringing that to me and let me know. And as we talk about Hamel Machine Company, how good corporate citizens they are, let's talk about that. Hamel, they've been around since 1948, serving Niagara. Great corporate citizens. And I thank Bob for telling me about that. But they help every industry. Whenever an industry moves into a place like Niagara Falls or any city, the first thing they want to do is know if there's a good machine shop to help them when they have breakdowns, when parts break. Well, Hamel Machine Company has been doing it since 1948. And they don't just make parts, they make them better. So if there's a breakdown in a machine, they find out what part is broken, what the problem is. Then they either fix the part or re-engineer it with their 3D printers and water jet cutters. But while they're doing that, they have the technicians, the staff, the skill to make the part better. A better part means more production, means more bottom line revenue for the company. That's what they do. They've done it for the wine industry. They've done it for the agricultural product industry, hydroponics. They've done it for the food industry. They do it for the city of Niagara Falls, the region. This is what they do there, and this is what they're good at. And when you have the staff to be able to do this, it's a blessing for the city to have this company here. You want to see the wonderful work they do? Go to hamillmachine.ca. It'll blow your mind. And if you have a problem at home, your snowblower, you spin the key, you need something milled, machined, whatever you need, they can do it for you. They're really good corporate citizens. You need something fabricated, built, welded, powder coated, whatever, they'll take care of it all for you. And if you're really nice, they might even install it for you. They're just great people. Anyway, we thank you for supporting our sponsors. Check out hamillmachine.ca and give them a call if you need anything, any help around the house with stuff like that. Go to their website to see all the services they provide. They're really, really good people. And I thank all my sponsors. They're all really, really good people. And appreciate having them in Niagara Falls, and appreciate all you out there who support the show and support our sponsors. The benefit to the city. Okay, just to remind you, if you have anything to say here, 289-994-7560. Let's see, I got a message here from my buddy Tony Nero. Hey, you need to thank the city for keeping your heart rate up. They better thank you. They're better for you than a Peloton. Thanks, Tony Nero. Great message. Yeah, I talked to Tony a lot about the city, and Tony really wasn't into city matters until I started my show, and he started listening. And he goes, I listen to your show and I get mad. And I said, well, that's good. That's what it's all about: getting people involved, getting them wound up, letting them know what city council's doing with our money. So yeah, it's cheaper than a Peloton and better for me. Thank you, Tony. Great comment. Oh, I don't see any other comments for now. So, maybe we got one here. I don't know. Let's see. It's a voicemail, so I'm not going to take that right now. I don't know who it's from. Okay. So let's move over to this new logo. I don't know if you've seen it or not. I don't know what your thoughts are. Leave comments on it. But to me, I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't understand it. I mean, water going over a falls, you take that anywhere, and you say, what is this? And if you have a silhouette of the Skyline Tower behind it, they say Niagara Falls. Most people know what that is. But this new logo, if you show it to people, I guarantee you, they won't have a clue what it is. They don't know if it's an internet page. They don't know what it is. Like, you got to have Niagara Falls beside it, because you'll have no clue. I don't get it. I don't know who designed it, but I don't know how much they spent. 50 grand on it? I don't know. Something like that, I guess. Maybe more, maybe hundreds of thousands. I don't know, but it's going to cost a lot of money because everything's got to be converted over. Now that we have a new logo, it's got to go on the website. It's got to go on city uniforms, clothing, stationery, business cards. You can't. Everything that has a Niagara Falls sticker on it's got to be changed now. And I mean, Nike created the swoosh and marketed it to the extent now where you see the swoosh, it's Nike. McDonald's did the same thing for the Golden Arches. I mean, the Golden Arches were two arches that went through the original McDonald's. I've seen it, one of the original ones in California. And they weren't there as Golden Arches. They were there to hold the building up. It was a flat top building that was slanted and attached to the arches to hold it up. It wasn't a sit-in. It was just a drive-in and drive-through. Not even a drive-through, drive-in. You go up to the window there, like the Dairy Queen in Port Colborne. They turned the arches into the iconic arches, the Golden Arches. We don't have to do that because we already have something that's iconic that's been here for hundreds of thousands of years and that people have known about for 200 years at least. And that's the Niagara Falls themselves. We don't have to create an icon. We don't have to create a logo. We already have one. Why we change from using that, which is instantly recognizable on everything, to this new one, I don't know. I don't even know. Because if you show it to people, they'll have no clue what it is. And they said, oh, this is supposed to be the Canadian Falls, and this is supposed to be the. Who knows about that except people who live here? Are you using your logo to present to locals? Or do you want people around the world to know what it is? And how much is it going to cost you to market this logo to people from all over the place? This doesn't make sense. And we're going to be spending hundreds of thousands, maybe millions on it. I don't get it. I don't get it. And I don't know. To me, it's another waste of taxpayer dollars. I mean, your logo you want to have that represents the city. People can look at it and understand it and recognize it instantly. I don't know. I don't know. I don't get it. What's your comments? What do you guys think of this new logo? You know what this is? Oh, yeah. You know what that is, right? Yeah, of course. Okay. I don't get it. I have no idea. But there it is. Give me your comments. Let me know what you think of it. I could be way off base here. I could be an idiot. I could be a jerk and a goof. Maybe I am, but I don't get it. Now I want to jump over to Welland just for a second here. Oh man, I love Welland. You know, Welland's like the craziest place ever. And they know how to get things done, though. I'll give them that. But the Welland version of the WWE has reached a truce. Battling Frank Campion, the mayor, has allowed terrible Tony DeMarco, who's been banned from city council chambers for 2 years and must attend meetings via Zoom. He's been allowed back into city council chambers after councilors voted 8-3 to allow the terrible one back into council meetings. Now, if you remember, he was banned for outrageous behavior, yelling and screaming, almost duking it out with the mayor a few times, almost coming to blows over the hiring of Rob Axiak. And he's got other outbursts. He's had, I don't know how many integrity commission reports done on him over the last 5 or 6 years or whatever. So they finally banned him from attending meetings live. He has to go into Zoom and attend them. I remember one story. The Zoom went down, so he jumped in his car and went to city council meeting and tried to get in so he could attend the meeting, and they wouldn't let him in. Security said, "No, you're persona non grata here. Hey, you're not getting in." Oh man, never-ending fun in Welland. Well, he's back. Fireworks should start all up again. There's nothing like a Welland City Council meeting when terrible Tony DeMarco is sitting in a chair in a council meeting. I can't wait to see him back. I got to watch that one. It's going to be a good one. We'll see what happens here. If he calms down, he's learned his lesson, or he's going to have to be banished again. Over to Grimsby. And this is really rich. Grimsby City Council has filed charges against 2 Grimsby residents and Gin, Grimsby Independent News, and they filed them with the Ontario Human Rights Tribunal for allegedly making her the victim of sex-based discrimination on the Gin's Facebook page. Oh my goodness. You know, anymore, if you criticize anybody, you're racist, you're discriminating against them. You can't say anything anymore. In her application to the tribunal, Councillor Jennifer Korstenaji she'll probably sue me now for not pronouncing her last name right. I'm a last nameophobe. Stated Jin is engaged in a sustained pattern of discriminatory reporting rooted in gender bias and retaliation for my public advocacy on behalf of marginalized groups, particularly people with disabilities and 2SLGBTQQIA+. Are you taking notes on this one? I call them the alphabet people. I don't care. I'm not saying all that all the time, and I can't remember it all the time. Alphabet people takes care of everything. But if you want to write it down, LGBTQIA plus. Hold the cheese and hold the mayo. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Totally wacky. There goes Bob Bennett right there. As a public-facing service provider, under human rights codes, GIN has failed to uphold its duty to provide non-discriminatory services. Is this some kind of joke? Are you a cuckoo? I mean, she cannot be taken to task or she cries discrimination. I mean, gee, maybe she shouldn't be in public life. When you're in public life and you have opinions, you're going to get people against your opinions. They're going to have something to say. And it's not always going to be nice. I get it all the time. I'm not filing any lawsuits against anybody. It's part of the being a public persona, being in the public. And that might be a good idea for voters to remember in 2026. Do you really want somebody who can't be criticized sitting on your city council making decisions? She goes on. I mean, though through its reporting and online platform, she says, GIN has created a threatening environment for me as an elected official, as a woman, and as an advocate or of equity. Of course, she throws in the woman part. Not a person. She's not a he, she, they, them, it, or whatever. I'm surprised she said woman. She probably can't even tell you what a woman is. She claims she's been the victim of harassment, threats via the social media page for more than 3 years. I felt it important to file because I think it's important to stand up against voices that amplify misogyny, ableism, homophobia, and racism in our community. Ooh. Oh, yeah. It's only a left-wing, woke socialist that doesn't like what you're saying that cries racism. Always cries racism. Well played, Jennifer. She's seeking $75,000 in damages. Oh, she's never going to get it. She ever heard of freedom of speech and freedom of the press? Yeah, we have a right to our opinion. You may not like it, but we have a right to it. I don't know. Do we in Canada? I know the Constitution of the United States of America protects our right to free speech and freedom of the press. Not sure about the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms. It depends who is protesting, who's filing the complaint. To me, it's without merit. Makes me mad. Taxpayers are going to be on the hook to fight this. Yeah, hopefully it's dismissed immediately. Doesn't cost the taxpayers a dime. The GIN has a right to express their views on local politics, news, just like I do, just like you do. And we do it every day. There's a right to call our politicians out, express our views. They're public servants. We have a right to express our views on their opinions and what they do on city council. No, we don't have a right to threaten them. We don't have a right to go to their house and harass them. We don't have a right to do anything like that. But we have a right to express our opinion. So does the GIN. So do the two people that she's charged with that hate speech. I read a lot of their articles, the GIN. Some I agree with, some I don't. But I do support their right to express their views. I personally never found them threatening or discriminating. I mean, when you get into politics, or any public venue for that matter, especially when you're hired by the public. I'm not hired by the public. They are. And they're responsible for what they do, and they can be taken to task by us. They're the taxpayers who are their bosses for what they do. And I mean, if you lose that right, then what do you got left? What do you got left? She claims to be representing herself. That's great. No onus on the taxpayers to help her. Hope it stays that way. But maybe the Jin's going to launch a countersuit against her. These meritless assertions, they're going to cost the two Grimsby residents money that she's charging because they're going to have to hire a lawyer. Maybe the Jin. We'll see what happens here. I'm going to follow this one up. It's very important. Thanks to Mark Newman of Niagara This Week for the great article. And I'll keep an eye on that one for everybody. Anyway, I still got more pages here. But you know what? I got to go. It's 1 o'clock. I'm out of here. We'll get to some of this stuff tomorrow. Guaranteed. So if you have any thoughts about what I talked about, please leave comments on the video when it comes out. We'll discuss some of them tomorrow. I got a full day tomorrow. I've already planned to review the first 230 pages of the capital budget and delve into the last 100 pages and go from there. Plus other stuff that I've come up with that I'm going to talk about in that budget, plus review the other first 200 pages, like I said. So tomorrow's going to be kind of the wrap up before our Monday meeting. Dave Wheeler will be in, and we'll talk more about it. And then Tuesday, we will definitely give you more information, and then we can watch the meeting at 4 o'clock, NiagaraFalls.ca, YouTube, or the Kojiko channel. If they do carry it, sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. But this is a big deal. It's $78 million of taxpayer money that they're allocating. We got to make sure they're spending it right. So we definitely want to watch it. And we'll get to any other stuff that I had today, tomorrow. What else we got coming up? That's about it. We've had a very, very busy week. Lots going on. Lots going on in the world I haven't got to either. I mean, we've got Trump ready to pull the trigger on Venezuela. He's going in. Everything's set up. Venezuela's putting jets in the air. Could have something developing big down there in the next few days. And of course, we got Russia that's encroaching on NATO countries. They might have something to say about that NATO when it's Poland, Lithuania, Estonia. Putin's not going to back down. He doesn't want peace, I guess. See what happens there. I mean, there's a lot going on in the world. So anyway, thanks for tuning in, everybody. I really appreciate your comments. I really appreciate you tuning into the show. And I will be back tomorrow at noon sharp. Always here. Promises made, promises kept. I'll be here at noon to give you my view on everything. Like it or not, let me know. That's what comments are for. Support our sponsors. Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop. Pete's Pizza on Victoria Avenue. Hamill Machine Company. God bless you all. I'll talk to you tomorrow. And get those questions ready. We'll talk about them. There's so much going on. You must have questions. If you don't, you might want to run for city council because it seems like everybody down there don't have any questions either. Take care. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Have a great day. Ciao, ciao.